Everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So today, if you're watching this the day that the video posts, at least fingers crossed that I get it posted today. The weather has been kind of rainy and gloomy, and it can always trigger a migraine for me. And yesterday I worked half the day and then I had to stop, and today I've taken medicine, which is helping keep it at bay, but it also makes me a bit groggy. So I'm going to try to get this posted today because today is November. I don't know. It's election day. So I think that's the 5th. It's the first day that you can buy the new online exclusive. So I'm going to show you a couple of those. I'm going to use a couple of things out of the online exclusives. And for those of you that are in my card club or interested in maybe joining my online card club, it's your first project for November. So let's take a look at some of the things that are available right now. So this is the Heart Suite. I'm going to try, if I feel up to it, I'm going to try to keep creating a couple more things with the new products that I have to post for you. And then I'm going to start on Sentimental Christmas and Card Club, because November, has a holiday at the end. So I need to get my month going. So that's the Heart Suite. This is the new paper. I'm going to show it to you in a second. We're using it on today's card. And this is actually made with the wedding card bundle. And then this one is mine. It's a perfect pair. This is the alternate set, Pretty Petals, I think, for Card Club this month. So everything on this card is Card Club. And then you can add, if you choose to, the alternate set. This isn't the project, but you could easily recreate it. Everybody who adds that to bundle to their Card Club this month gets the supplies for 2 bonus projects, but everybody gets to see the video. And then this is Happy Hibiscus, which is the stamp set that I'm using today. It is our club set. It's a hybrid, so you can see it has the folder. These are all raised up. It's very pretty, and I'm going to show you how to use that on this one. So for Card Club this month, like I said, the Happy Hibiscus, I'll show it to you as soon as I move this stuff out of the way, is the stamp set. But we are using, these are both online exclusives. So we have the gold twisted thread and the adhesive backed heart sequins, which I have had so much fun using these. I actually thought that I was going to like the other new ones, which are these better. But I haven't even opened those because I like these so well. So in Card Club, you get a full packet of both of those. Then this month you get a half a packet cut this way of the Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper. This is in the annual catalog, and I have used it lots of times on my channel, so you could look up other things. And then they get the supplies to create 6 projects. So we do 3 designs, one of which you'll see today, and then they make 2 of those, and we do envelopes as well. This year I've made a concerted effort to remember when I do the Card Club to there's dimensional backs everywhere, always, to decorate the envelopes and the inside of the cards. So this one has it. So here, let's take a real quick look at the Happy Hibiscus folder. So I'm going to use it in a second. But when you're in Card Club, if you don't have to buy, because I know a lot of you already have florals or something that you feel like might work. So you only have to add the stuff that you fall in love with, or that you feel like you can't make a substitute with, because sometimes they're pretty particular. When it's florals, I recognize that a lot of you have florals, but this is on today's card, but when you get it in your packet, it's already done for you, so it'll be like that. So that's the folder. Here are the stamps, and then we will use several of the dies. So there's these 2 leaf dies that are on today's card, and I know we're going to use the circle. We're going to use the little rectangle that's not in here because I used it on the other card. And then we'll also use the little flower. So there'll be lots of die cuts on cards this month. Don't tell my husband I said that. He's my die cutter. And he likes the months where I don't have lots of die cuts on it. So all of the paper itself, like this, comes ready. So here's the envelope. Then we have some espresso. And then this is to stamp on espresso. And then I want to show you this. Then you have this that's been run through the folder. And here's one of the leaves. So there's 2 leaf designs, and we only need 1 on the card. So you're actually going to get 1 of each, but 1 design on one card and 1 on the other. So on the card that I show you in a second, you can see the other leaf design, but look how pretty those are. It's perfect, actually, if you just want to do a little name thing for Thanksgiving, and you should have club before Thanksgiving. then you could just put that on there and then write the name. It's so pretty. But this is an online exclusive. It is the brushed silver and gold specialty paper, and that's where we're going to cut the leaves out of. So, but let me show you how pretty it is. Every time I start to film, my cat downstairs is like, come play with me. Can you hear her? She's pitiful. She's very spoiled. She is the one that was in the hospital last month. So that was my stress for last month. Isn't this pretty? You can see that it's got the fun distress lines in it. I wasn't real sure when I put it through the folder if they would keep, or the die, if they would keep the design in it, but they did. And I was pleased because in my head, that's how it was going to be on the card. So let's make today's card. We have a fun technique on it. So the first thing we're going to do is take this, and then everybody that's been in Card Club since summer has the shimmer solution. If you are new to club and you need to create this, I will have the video pop up above it. You don't, and this is a step that you don't have to do, but it's a wink of Stella and some glycerin, and then they all got the bottles. I don't know, early summer, late spring. We've had them for a hot minute. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this over here. You don't need a lot. And then I'm gonna do this so it can start to dry. So what I did was I kind of shimmered the flowers first so they'd get the bulk of the shimmer. So when this dries, you can see it looks wet, but when it dries, it's just the shimmer. It doesn't have that wet look to it anymore, and I'll show you on the finished card. Actually, I can show you on the other half of this because you're gonna shimmer this if you choose to. You don't have to. You can just leave it brown because it's beautiful that way as well. So I got everything off my brush like that. And then I took what was left and just kind of put it in between. That way most of the shimmer comes off on the flowers, the raised up parts. And then you're going to cut this in half. It's cut 5 1/4 by 4. And so you're going to cut it in half, and that will be 2 2-inch pieces. And here's my other one. So you can see how this looks wet. It won't look wet once it's dried. It looks like this, but see how shimmery and beautiful it is? So I'm just going to use this one since it's already cut in half. So that will make a piece for each of your cards. And then you have a small piece of espresso. And I'm going to stamp with espresso ink. There's always other ink colors that you can use. You could do this in black if you want, if you don't have espresso. Any of the browns, the darker browns should work. Stamp this here, and this block comes with them just like this because this is how they line up in the folder. If you want to put all of them through the folder at the same time, that's exactly how they are in the folder. And then this piece here is the inside of our card, and then this is our envelope. So let's just do all the stamping and get that over with. So this set has several words. I'm going to use "Thanks for being so kind" and my white ink pad. So you can see those words. We're going to use the white in a second again to color with. You can emboss it if you want it to be really white, but because it's on the espresso cardstock, it shows up pretty well. And then it has this little cross hatch thing. So I'm just going to grab it. And the nice thing is it is kind of already in a corner shape. So you can fit it around itself. I'm just going to add, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's obviously kind of a distressed thing you're doing. And then I'm going to do it here on my envelope. And again, you can see how the corners just kind of fit. Let's do it over here. And then I'll pop this on this side. Do one here. And then you might be thinking, well, where's the card? We have these pieces, but we don't have the card yet. So for this, you are going to take a piece. Really, any of them will work. So when you do these cards, I haven't done the other two. There may be one where the cardstock has to be, but there's a lot of espresso. There's a lot of the Moody Mauve. There's Wild Wheat. There is Moonlight. So the colors are pretty easy matched. So, you know, I just showed you that you get your paper 6 by 12. So that I've cut this to 4 1/4, which is standard card size. And we're going to use this for our card front. Oh, I didn't show you. That's why these are laying here. So if you purchase as part of my online exclusives kickoff for this month, you can get this, a charm. Yours won't be all used up. Mine's several years old. But you'll get a fun little charm that you can put on your scissors. You can put it on your bag. You can put it on a bone folder. You can also earn the bone folder from me this month. And then you can also earn the ribbon. That's why all this is laying here. This is beautiful ribbon, and I can't wait to use it. I just have been really stuck on this beautiful gold ribbon. So this makes it now, it's 6 by 4 1/4 in standard card size. If you're gonna put this on a package or something, you could leave it larger. But we need it to be 5 1/2, so it'll go in our envelope because we just stamped that fun envelope. So I'll just put it in there, and then this is going to go on the inside, and then we're going to put these on the outside with this. So I'm going to color these in. I'm going to cut them out. You can see how this fits on here, and then this also fits in the folder, which if you go back watch that other video, you can see how it fits in the folder. Now I'm just going to color one. You could color all 3 of them because this is a really fun technique to color. But for time, and I think especially this one, because it's a little accent piece, I don't think it needs, all of them don't need to be colored. And this one's going on the inside, so it's up to you if you want to take the time to do that. Oh, and I left my pad open so I could finish my stamping, and then I didn't. So go back to the espresso pad and back to my little cross hatch. And I'm just going to make this kind of match. There's going to be stuff that gets on here, so I'm just kind of randomly placing a few of those. You don't need a lot. So that's now done with the espresso. So the fun coloring technique for this is we are going to take our flower and we are going to color it in with Whisper White, which is a craft ink. And you can see there's hardly any left. I didn't put any in here. This is still from whatever time I painted with this before. But because it's a craft ink, it's thick and it goes a long way. And because we are painting onto a darker cardstock, it shows up very well. The only thing is you want to be careful that you don't cover up all of the brown ink with the white, because then your design will just disappear. So you're just going to get a tiny, tiny bit on the end of your Wink of Stella. And then I'm just going to brush it through. You can see how white it is, but you keep pulling it until it disappears. And I'm not putting it on top of any of these espresso stamped lines. So first we'll start in here, and then I just use it until it all kind of brushes off. It dries a little bit lighter than what it appears when you first put it on there, but I like those pops of white, especially because the colors on our paper that we're using on this card are just mauve, white, and espresso. So it matches really nicely on our paper. Okay, so I'm almost done. You can see there's still plenty of paint in here. And you can also see as it dries that it gets a little bit lighter. And a lot of it, you know, I've just used my Stella until the white's coming off. It's very, very pretty up close, which is what I love about Card Club, is that you will get to see it because you're doing it. So you don't have to just believe me that it's beautiful, you'll get to see it. So now I'm just gonna kind of use up the white that is on here on my brush. And any place where there's obvious lines, they can still work out. Craft ink does take a little bit of time to dry. And like I said, the weather here, it's not sunny. It's a little bit rainy. So it's a little moisture in the air, so it'll take a fraction longer even. You can see the places where there's just ink. Now that my Wink of Stella doesn't have white on it, I'm just gonna brush over a little bit so it blends in with the rest of the card. And if you wanna add any more pops of white, you can. It's really pretty. You have to try this. But I also want there to be a tiny bit of pink, which isn't going to show up greatly because, right, it's espresso cardstock. But you will see it up close. I don't know that you're going to see it at all on camera. So I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella, grab some mauve, and kind of add it here to the center. And then I'm going to brush it a little bit on some of my white areas, because then it pops once it has that base of white underneath it. But it's a fine line between covering up all your white, because the white's really pretty, and having some mauve that kind of shows. So just get a little bit on every petal, but it doesn't have to be a ton. So just these two petals here now. And it just kind of gives it that little pop of pink, which is going to tie it into our card perfectly. Okay, now if you are doing this for Card Club, this next step, you are going to let yours dry. I don't have time. Sometimes when I'm filming, I'll go do something else and I'll pause it and then I have to edit it back together. I'm not doing that today because I want to clean this up and I want to start getting this stuff ready to be cut. So what I'm going to do, it's going to get my folder probably a little bit dirty. That's why you want to wait on yours. So if you got the bundle, you'll have to have the bundle to make this part work. You're going to take the folder. My husband needs to fix my squeaky chair. You're going to take the folder, and then this goes, I was going to show you this. This is where those 3 flowers go. So you can see they go right like this. But we don't need to cut ours out because it's already cut out. You could do this step if you wanted to. You could do this step first. I find it easier to paint on flat cardstock and not the raised up. That's why we did it this way. So I'm just going to pop this one back in here. I'm not going to do the other two. You could do this one if you like. It'd make the inside of your card a little bumpy, and I want this one to look definitely different than this. So I'm not going to do that. So you're just going to lay this in here, and it matches right up to the flower. Just like that. Can you see how pretty it is? And then close it carefully. And then once you close it, make sure that it's lined up right under that flower, and then roll this through your machine. Always Stampin' upside up and always crease through first. So look how pretty this is. It's just incredibly gorgeous. Like, this card would be a really pretty wedding card because this is so pretty. Look how pretty that is. So it has all that texture, which I'm sure it's hard to capture on camera, but up close you can see. And look how that white just pops. So now let's put our card together. I'm going to take the little piece here that let's start with the inside. That'll get these pieces off the table. And I like to, both of these are good. My other one had a side where there were less flowers. That's what I used for my front, because on this card, everybody's going to see the back. Both of these are pretty good. And I already stamped that one, so I guess that's my front. This is going to pop in here. And when you're using Designer Series paper as your card base, it's great to have this inside. One, you can write on it, but two, it gives your card a little bit of stability. And also on the front, then we'll have this piece. I had the full piece was on here the first time, and that's why I cut it in half, because then you lost all the paper. And the paper's so pretty, and I took all that time to make my flower match the paper, so then I didn't want to cover it up. You're going to take your larger flower, and down here where you added the little cross hatches, pop that in there. So there's the inside of our card. Then this is going to go over here. And again, this part down here is going to get covered up, and look how pretty that flower is. So I'm going to flip this around. So this part here is the part that gets covered up. I'm going to take the ribbon, your cord. Mine came all the way off my spool, and my cats didn't even do it. I can't even blame them. It was me. But it's kind of been a nightmare finding out where the end is. So I'm going to hold a string down about that far, and then I'm going to go around it. Look how pretty the Wink of Stella that's on this espresso cardstock matches. This really makes that gold on there pop. I'm going to go around it twice. See, and it's all ripped. And then when I get to this side, I'm going to pull it up and have about the same amount that I have on the other side. I tried to unwind it, and it just was making a bigger mess. My husband likes those kind of projects, so when he gets home tonight, he's going to try to fix my ribbon for me. He doesn't know it yet, but nothing like he is a project manager for the largest hospital system in Indianapolis, and they're opening a new women's hospital, so his last few weeks have not been fun. Because, you know, when you have to put all new equipment and make sure all the new equipment gets delivered and that it all works for the go live. My daughter is not having her baby at that hospital, but we were talking, he has to work the day of her shower, so he won't be able to get there, which he's mostly disappointed because of the food. But she's like, why do you have to be there? You know, sometimes when you're the boss. And I said, if you were having your baby in that hospital on the first day, you would want to make sure that all the machines were working, right? So just pop this on here. My other bow is bigger. This one will work. So once you have that on here, I'm going to, because this one's short, you don't do this if you have a long one, but if you have a short one, you can just stick your snips, or this works better, the shepherd's hook of your. So you just pull it. You don't want to tear them. And this doesn't work if they're long. It wouldn't have worked for as long as I had there on my other card, but this is the perfect length. So you just put it in here, and once they start to unwind, then you just kind of pull this just like that, and it breaks them apart. It's a little bit easier than doing it with your hands and untwisty, but it's just that the length has to be right. If it's too long, it will tear and it gets a knot. I don't need any more knots. I'm going to add some adhesive back here. And then pop this on here. And then I'm going to grab my big flower first, and here's my leaf. So I'm going to add my leaf. This one's going to have to go a little bit different because I did my bow short. So let's pop it up there. And this one I'm going to use adhesive. So this is going to be flat to my card. And then on this one, I'm going to do double dimensionals. So pop this in here. There's hot glue all over my dimensionals because, oh, I didn't show you the Christmas tree. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you the Christmas tree. Now, when you're going to do a double dimensional, remember to take this one off. Otherwise, they don't stick. It'll stick for a second, but they don't stick to themselves. See, there's hot glue, but I used the little backing. But if your card falls apart and you're like, why didn't this stick? It would be because they don't stick to the backing. They do a tiny bit, but not long, not enough to get shoved into an envelope, most certainly. I'm trying to look and see where my tree is. And then this one I want to be flat. So because it's flat, it's not colored, and it's lower, it'll look like a separate flower. I didn't want it to look like it was part of the other. And we need our embellishments. Let me find the tree first. So every December, I send a Christmas gift. This year, the gift will actually be a craft that we make along together. So this is the little tree that's going to go up inside of the thing. It has an embellishment here and one for the stand. It's in a stamped in a. The rest of it, there may be one other piece that we make together, but you have to be in club in November to get one of the kits made for you, and then it will go in your December packet. But it's so cute. It actually kind of looks like my cat's paw, but in the little thing, it's perfect. And those of you doing Sentimental Christmas, we're also going to do a different kind of tree in that. So that's the tree, but you'll want to be in November and December so you can get that special gift. So here's our hearts. And again, how pretty would this be for a winter wedding card? Because it's floral, but it is not the colors of spring or the colors of fall. You know, weddings now are so color centric, depending on what season that you have your wedding in. This is just trendy colors, but not necessarily a seasonal color. And these are so pretty, and they just glimmer right off the card. So here's, whoops. There, just didn't press it down. So here's this one. They're both going to look just about the same. This one has a much bigger bow, and you can see here's the other leaf design. So if you're in Card Club, you'll have one of each leaf. It doesn't matter which one you have. Look how pretty those flowers are. So raised up and gorgeous. And then you have your envelope. So we have that. And I'm going to show you one more thing about the embellishments in case you didn't watch the other video. I have to find where I laid it. On this one, which is our bonus set, you can see that I used the hearts upside down on those little flowers. So that, if you're interested in Card Club, go to my website. There's a page that's all things Card Club, and there you can subscribe via PayPal subscriptions. You don't have to have a PayPal account. It auto bills you every month. It's the cheapest thing that I do, where you actually get product. And then if you're in Card Club and you want to add any of the add-ons, either bundle or this month they can also add on the color wheel since it's brand new, then you need to do that by the 10th. Everybody have a great day, and I'll catch you back here later. Bye.